Vi är väldigt nöjda att visa den här filmen i närvaro av regissören Cristina Gallego som kommer upp på scenen här efter visningen och köra Face2face med er. Missa inte det blir en höjdpunkt. Vi tipsar om en annan höjdpunkt imorgon kväll. Här, 18.30, gala, Voxlux, Natalie Portman i huvudrollen, regissören Brady Corbet på plats. Missa inte det heller och ha en fantastisk film.
Música, tu música, tu eyúcaro. Araura, chi asibukai, chiarinca, musisain, chongwa, hapu, supura, nojo, ruin, tuinguay.
Puto house macaca puriantaya. Sukata pahirainta kuaipa supusuwa saututa pusika.
So punaihan tuwa puskat, so punaweskas pusuaya.
Míralo, Rafa. La marihuana es la felicidad del mundo.
Pajare su puyurian.
Oi, kuchita ya. Yo namoy na gringo kan.
¿Para eso qué es la plata? ¿Para gastársela? No somos hermanos, Rafa. ¡Rafa!
No jolero. Tarapuja y su chico.
Amulo es por paipa.
Face2face with the director of the movie. So let's welcome the moderator first. Thank you. And the director of the film, Cristina Gallego.
Well, I'm not the director, my co-director is in Morocco now.
Hello, thank you very much for making this film. My name is noviembre, I'm from Department of Media Studies at Stockholm University. And when I saw this film, I was struck how you are like combining two different stories, like an indigenous story, and then you combine it with like the early drug trafficking story. Do you want to say a few words why you wanted to combine these two stories?
I'm not sure if it's I hope I can say small words about it, but yeah, we want to talk about the start of the narco traffic. We wanted to do a gangster film. We want to look in the origin of that story, and that story started to develop the development in the north of Colombia. And even if the Waju was not the main protagonist in the real life of this history, we want to talk about how this big tragedy started and how it changed our society and our country. And we wanted to do in this indigenous community that what was in the part where all the things started, because they was a smuggler, they lived in the frontier, they was to have the first contact, but also that was a metaphor of the change of our society, of our country, of our traditions. I try to go in deep with the Waju people, because it's a society that it made you think about that conflict also. It's a very traditional society, but it's a very capitalistic society. And yes, and we discover a big amount of things, but that was the reason that we wanted to focus in that society. And yes, it's as strong as you see in the film. They have all these traditions are alive, and they are very strong. And this is the possibility where they survive until now. And they live in the north of Colombia and Venezuela, and they don't recognize the frontier between the countries. This is the Waju nation. And yes, we wanted to portray it as real as possible, and for that we work in the script, and we have an anthropologist advisor, specialist from the Guajira, and specialist in the Waju society, and he corrected us during the process. But also when we arrived to the pre-production, we wanted to do a film not about the Waju, but with the Waju people. And we involved in the production of the film around the 30% of the crew was Waju. They was especially in art, in the art department, in obviously most of the actors, secondary roles and all the extras and all of this, in the production side and in the directional side also. So they helped us to build or to construct all this film. They were involved in the creation.
Thank you. Looking at the narrative structure of the film, it starts basically with a song, and it also ends with a song, and I think they sing about both of what's happening, but I think they mention the word memory in both the first song and the last song. Do you want to say a few words about how you're using a song as the narrative device? And I think it comes in a couple of other places in the film as well.
Yes, we have some inspirations to do these films, some inspirations and some rules or things to develop in the way that we wanted to do the film. One of these was the tragedy, the structure of the tragedy, and the structure in different chapters. And with this structure that we had since the first scripts, we also in the pre-production, the composer arrives to do his pre-production, to research for the music, for the instruments, for the sounds of the region. And when he was doing that research, he found this singer, this Hayechi singer. And this Hayechi singer, when we know and discover this figure that is very important in the Waju traditions, we saw our narrator, our Homero, the narrator of this tragedy. And we include, we asked him to compose Hayechi about these things that you heard. And we include, because we want to create a tragedy about this tragedy of our society, and we wanted to have these elements. And one of these is the songs and the chapter.
Exactly. So each chapter is also called a song. You mentioned instruments, and I was trying to figure out what are these instruments that are being used, and I couldn't guess what. So can you just mention what instruments? Because the soundscape of the film is quite fascinating.
It's just what your instruments say. But I cannot. One of these is called Uontorrojoy. Other ones is called Sagwagwa. And the other one I don't remember, but the musician and the sound designer was completely crazy with these instruments.
I think we have to Google Waiju instruments to see what they look like. If we have any questions from the audience, we could bring in some audience questions.
One of the
Okay.
it's not the Sagwagwa. I think it's like an art from mouth. It sounds like an art, and it works like an art from mouth. But the other, I think I didn't see it.
If I see any, there's a hand in the back. I don't know if we need a microphone or.
I was wondering about, so if one has seen the wind journeys, Los Viajes del Viento, also by one of the directors, Ciro Guerra, there are some resemblances. So I wanted to hear a little bit about that, if there is or.
Yes, this film, we made a film called The Wind Journeys 10 years ago in that region and in that period. And in that film, there's a scene where the two protagonists find or have an adventure with a bunch of marimberos. And that was the start of this film, that scene. And to do that scene, even if it was also a film that we worked with non-professional actors, for that scene we cast people who lived in the marimbero bonanza. And one of the actors that play in that scene is Aníbal. It's Aníbal here, the cousin. And he was the one who or one of the people that start to tell most histories about the bonanza marimbera. That was the starting of this film, the history that he was telling to us. And the research that we start to do in that period and the books and the novels that we read. And also during the research of this film recently, when we decide to give this female point of view or this female side, we were in the region also asking about what happened with the women in that period with the families, and obviously. All of this history is history that hasn't been written and that used to be told by the survivors, and the survivors are the men. And the men used to talk about how deaths they have, how many guns, how many cars, and all of this. But we didn't want to tell this history because we feel that this history has been already told. And when we start to look for woman, to have some references, we already start the script, and the script has this developing that was more in my mind, and the scriptwriter doesn't believe that one woman like this could exist. So we start to go there to find some references, and when we arrived to Aníbal, that the name is Juan Bautista, he told us, oh yes, the woman that you are looking for, because we found some references around. Someone told us, oh yes, there was a woman that was involved in that business and was very, very danger, all the people was scared of her, and she has that name, and we start to ask about her, And Juan told us, oh yeah, you know her, that's my wife. And you know her 10 years ago. But you came to our home and she brings you the soup, but we never spoke with her. So that was something that was so clear for us to understand that all the histories that are hidden and from the woman is usually are told or saying, or you can hear if you go back in the back side of the houses, not in the front side. In the front side you are receiving in the living room with men that are talking, but what the history that we were looking was hiding in the kitchens. No, was more about the history that we wanted to tell was more hidden. So yes, that was the starting to resume. That 10 years ago with Journeys was the starting of Birds of Passage.
Okay, any other questions?
Could you please tell something about the birds?
Yes, birds. The birds are, the Wayuu people has a strong, yes, as you see, a strong spiritual side and mythological side, and they have many histories related with the birds. But something that I think is very nice in the Wayuu society is that you think there's things that only belongs to them, but when you see the symbolisms of the birds in different cultures, you can have this relation also with the Babylonians, also even if you I talk about the crowd. No, yes, many birds that are giving advices of things, the Holy Spirit, all of this, our relation with the birds, I think is more deeply in the society, but for the Wayuu people are the messengers in different aspects. Each bird appears when something good or bad will gonna happen. And that was one of the starts, but also for the title, the Birds of Passage, with me, for us was these birds that are Birds of Passage. That is the original title in Spanish is Summer Birds, Pájaros de Verano, and it's related with the birds that are arriving with the season, and when the season ends, left and don't let nothing there. So, but and make references also with these metal birds that start to arrive to La Guajira in that period. So, yes.
Usually this face-to-face is 15 minutes, but since there's no film afterwards, we can continue a bit longer till someone signals that we have to leave or turns off all the lights. So we have one question there, one question there. I have one more question as well, so at least 3 more questions.
First of all, thank you so much for an extraordinary film. And then I would like to ask you about, because I know you've been producing the previous films of Ciro Guerra and also other films, of course, but this time we were directing together. I'm curious about what made you take that step into direction, and also about what your work there, what your collaboration is like as director.
I don't know if you heard the question in the back. So the question is, this is the first, like before you've been producing films together with Ciro Guerra, but this is the first film that you are directing as well, so you're co-directing. So why did you take that step, and how was it to collaborate together?
Yes, our story of collaboration started in the university. We were studying film in the school, and I think for things that are more related with the natural things to me, I start to producing. But we start this collaboration 18 years ago, and in every films the things and the roles and the challenges changed. And when we made our previous film, and the collaboration also all the time was the creative collaboration was so deep. We were also a couple, so that definition was very blurred, and especially was very blurred in our previous film, in Embrace of the Serpent, where I was very involved in the script process and in the editing process. I was not in the set, but at the end of the process, I had the impression that it was my film also. That I was working as an author in that film. But the thing is that I never wanted to be a director. I was thinking that I'm a producer, but I feel a little uncomfortable. But the things have been proven by themselves. So when we start to do this film, it was my idea, but I wanted to produce it, and I want to do this film, but Ciro come and direct. But when we started research, and we knew, and for us was clear that this female aspect of the film we're gonna make it very different, very unique, and that this aspect, the only one that can bring it was me in this collaboration. So we decided to co-direct directly, and really was, but I think it was something that we didn't think that we are almost doing it. But when we do, the change was not significant. For me, was the only thing different was that I was in the set, more involved in the set. But most of the creative decision was taken together from both sides, and I think that this is when we realize that and we have that clear, and it's very evident in the film, like, because it's not nothing that we put our minds together to make a film thinking the same things. The film talk about the conflict and the different aspects of the family of a human being, this conflict between the rational and the intuitive world, between female and male world, between tradition and modernity, and it's about these conflicts. And I think that he put his things, I put this thing, and the result are the film.
The question in the back.
Yeah, this is maybe a more personal question, but our last name is Juliana, so I'm wondering if it has any meaning or something.
Your last name is Juliana?
Yeah, exactly the same, Juliana.
It means that the word is one. The only differences are the, yes, but, and I would, other people ask us about Abu Chaibi, the Rapayet last name. And I know now that this Abu Chaibi comes from Palestine. Yes, this is the migration, the word.
One last audience question and then one last moderator question.
I just wonder how this history continues. What is the situation of the Bayou people today? Did they leave the drug business after this war, or what has happened?
Yes, that was something that even if it's a little moralized in the film, we wanted to leave that. Is that they are a family, not the Waju. They were kind of rejected from the community, because this is not the way. The Waju people are not involved in the drug trafficking. Maybe they were in the start, but they wasn't the bigger marimberos in that business. But they obviously they are as a very strong society with deals and commercial in many aspects, and also with smugglers, and without this restriction between Venezuela and Colombia. This is the more cheaper oil for in Colombia, because it's the smuggler with many things, and the most evident is the oil nowadays. But they are out of the drug trafficking.
They're out.
Yes, they are out. Yes, it's the waste of this is, I don't know, and nowadays it's more through the Pacific, I think. And they have also one of the sets that we used in this previous film 10 years ago was a set, was a town, we chose an abandoned town for the end of that film. And that town, when we chose, we didn't know, but when we were in pre-production, we knew that was a kind of ghost town, because that was a massacre there. And a massacre between paramilitaries and narco-traffickers, and they killed the people from the town and the women from the town. It was a terrible thing, an offense there. But yes, I think that the Wayuu people knew when the business changed to the cocaine, and started the Medellin and the Cali cartel, and started all the history of Pablo Escobar. It was a very violent history, and start to arrive all this power and guns to other hands. They prefer to be in the same place where they start, in this desert, without nothing, but being alive. They quit at that moment.
Let's end on a more colorful note, if I may. So your previous film, Embrace of the Serpent, your previous collaboration, I think it's fantastic, and I use it in my teaching, and it's mostly in black and white, and here you're using color. Could you just say something about like this choice of making black and white or in color, and how it affects the filmmaking process and the storytelling?
Yes, I think that we didn't choose to do, I think that film choose what way need to be done. We work with the same director of photography, with the same also production designer, but it was very different films, and the base of the Embrace of the Serpent was the diaries. And for us, this film is like the Guajira. It's very colorful, but if you see this film and the Wind Journeys, that it's same location, same period, it looks very different also. It was something that is natural for the film.
Thank you so much for being here, answering our questions, and good luck with this film, and enjoy Stockholm.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you to all of you for coming and participating in the Q&A, and to the Stockholm Film Festival for choose, pick our picture for the poster. I'm absolutely happy with this.